Hello, welcome to my diary. I'm Tatami, and here we talk about whatever I want. Today, I wanted to go over yet another tarot deck that I have that's Afrocentric, and I highly recommend for people who are Black descent and West African, I guess specifically, if we're going there, which is most Americans, but I'm not sure, everybody else. There might be a little more discrepancy, but a lot of the people who were enslaved during the slave trade were from West Africa. So finding ways to connect specifically with those roots is really important, I think. Especially, now we have a lot of people who like to kind of tease about Kemetic religion just because we didn't specifically all mostly come from there bloodline wise, which I disagree with. I do think the Kemetic gods reached out to Black Americans and other Black people in the diaspora to keep the religions continuing. And it was a good thing to reclaim those. But I do also think it is important for us to reclaim what is specifically ours, what is specifically our ancestors. And so the Adinkra cards, the Adinkra symbols, should I say, are West African and therefore something that I super highly recommend. Bresi-Ando is the creator of this deck. Um, let me see adinkraliving.com. If you're trying to get this deck, it's affordable, it's beautiful, it's got the same, we've seen a theme of a lot of black, gold, and such, and this is no exception. This deck is no exception. A lot of these black decks have a lot of black in them and a lot of gold in them, and I don't blame them because I like a little bit of shine, and I think this one is beautiful, simple, and powerful. And a few of the cards are black with the opposite coloring, right? So it's a very powerful deck, and it's pretty good if you are somebody who's really actually interested in. You're not even just trying to use this for spiritual reasons. You're like, I just want to learn the symbols, or you want to teach your child the symbols. You're using this for homeschool purposes. This deck, it does it all. It really does it all. I really think this deck is so powerful for that reason. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you some of them. So one thing I really like about the deck, I love how it has the symbol three times. It's like there's no discrepancy about the symbol. Is the back of the cards. Look at this. It has all the little symbols. It looks fresh. It looks neat. It looks beautiful. It just looks really honestly perfect. There's just, when you get a deck that just touches you, speaks to you, it's another world, should I say. So we're gonna just quickly, oh, and I have to show you the, before we just start looking through the cards, the deck booklet guidebook is not the biggest one, but it is thorough, it is fine. Honey, it each has the symbol. It's very simple. She gives you some keywords, the philosophical significance, and a few additional meanings for the card. The and it's very obvious which one's which. She has some spreads here at the beginning, y'all, and a few words about the author and the company, and it's a very thorough book. It's a very thorough guidebook that I highly recommend. I just can't say enough about this. I used to go on Sankofa Ancestor Shrine, my other channel. I used to pull one of these every day for us to learn the different Adinkra symbols, what they mean. That was part of our studies in the Sacred Sister Circle as we went through the book Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. So I'm always recommending this deck. You've probably seen me have it before, but right now we're going to just kind of go through the different symbols. It has 44, I believe, 44 card deck. So it is not your traditional deck. It is not going after the traditional tarot. This is its own type of thing. It's a divination guidance deck. So you're going to be able to really address, your own needs as a Black person, not feeling like, sometimes it can feel like you're really just finding yourself all flopped in on somebody else's culture, or like, it's very difficult to find your way because the ones that are most popular, and in fact the pagan religions that are most socially accepted, are not Black, aren't they? Isn't that convenient? Because they've managed to make rules that kind of exclude us and make us look like terrible people, such as like, we have the rule of three, right? And like, you like, because you don't have that, it's like you could be using your stuff for nefarious purposes, as though our religions don't have like rules against, you know just harming people just because, trying to wield spirit guides angrily all the damn time. Like, we don't have that. So, we kind of get the short end of the stick, and so it can feel not welcoming. Like, you don't want to buy yourself a Lenormand deck or whatever it's called, you know what I mean? Or you want to find your own black centered decks. And so I find this one, isn't this symbol awesome? Who's seen this symbol before and what it's been associated with? And how many times do you think probably a hoodoo conjure root worker in America has used this symbol, and it's been wrongly interpreted as a Christian Catholic type of symbolism? But we did have crosses and similar symbolism in Africa throughout the diaspora, and it's kind of one of the ways also that we managed to remain hidden is because they just assumed they made up the cross somehow. So it's this deck, it just teaches. I love the symbols. I absolutely adore them. I hope eventually um to memorize each of them and really be dedicated to each of them as a system. But it's always hard to learn and memorize things. But I do have this deck, and I do try to memorize them and remember what they mean as I use the deck. So I just recommend this. I absolutely recommend this. This would be a great gift for a teenager, a middle schooler, all the way up to your grandma. Seriously, I can't imagine who wouldn't cherish this deck, because it's very simple. It's historical. So even if somebody was trying to be like, I'm not into all that like witchy stuff or whatever, you know how they say. The other day I saw somebody's page and they were talking about how crystals were a slippery slope, and I was like, sister, you indoctrinated Christianity. We've talked about how I feel about indoctrinated Christianity, but at any rate, I think that this one could bypass even that, because this is historically based. This is absolutely historically based, and there we have it. I have some family in my. I hear a little hands knocking on the door, so I think that's my cue to stop babbling about the deck and let you go. But at any rate, please head over to Adinkra Living. Oops, almost put that in upside down. AdinkraLiving.com. The box is excellent. It's everything about this is excellent. I've had this probably 3-4 years now at this point, almost as long as I've had my twins. But I absolutely can't recommend this more. Please go get yourself this deck if you are looking for a black deck that's you're supporting a black woman, you're supporting a black artist, you're supporting a black shop, and you're also it's affordable compared to, say, Manzel's Tarot or Dust to Onyx Tarot. This one comes with a bunch of things. It's absolutely useful. It is ancestrally divinely channeled through, and it is affordable. I believe it was about $40, $45 perhaps. I did not spend very much on this deck at the time, and I highly recommend it. I can't say that enough. All right, thank you so much for watching, and may your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads. I will see you next time.